I can't see it. Kenny. Okay.
Give it to Kenny.
All right.
Kenny's tonight, Kenny.
All right.
What is up, football fans, but most importantly, UFL fans? Welcome to episode 3. That's right, we're already 3 in of Polar Opposites, where your 2 favorite spring football enthusiasts go at it in 3 topics of y'all's choosing. And at the end, you literally get to vote and decide who wins. As always, your hosts are Ace and Webb, and our host is my wonderful mother-in-law, KB. And in our ear is our producer, Kenny. So, last week, I didn't have a good week, did I, Webb?
No, obviously, man. Look at the records. I'm up by 3.
Records are bad.
The only reason why you got to win is because you made me grito, man. First of all, I only saw it once. I think I could do a better job now that I've seen it a couple times. I'm not doing it again, but I think that was the only way you could beat me on real football stuff. You're not beating me. Let's be real.
Get out of here with that.
Play the intro music. Yeah, we got a whole episode to get into it. Play the intro music.
Wait.
I was going to bring up the polls.
Well, we got to do a drink check first.
Oh, shoot. You're right.
Drink check, gentlemen.
What you got?
Just a green tea tonight. I'm keeping it simple. I'm not as dramatic as last week.
Oh, Webb came to play. He was like, I need a clear mind to take on Ace because he knew I was coming with my Stanley. Oh, yeah. I got my Stanley. This is 100% pure vodka.
Next, you're going to put
out water.
What's water? In the Stanley?
It's 100% pure vodka. It's water. Yeah.
Right, so the only one restricted is me.
Water.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, gentlemen.
So, as you can see by our records, last week it did not go well for me. We actually put up the polls, and you guys voted, and I went and I figured out how many people voted for me on each and how many people voted for Webb, and it was depressing. Oh my gosh, guys. Panthers Nation, where are you at? But bigger, Webb unleashed the beer snakes on me. Thank gosh for YouTube for helping my number pump up. So I only lost by 22 votes out of the 262. Oh my gosh. The only thing you guys care about is when I yell. The only one they care about is when I yell. This is crazy.
That was an easy one, right? Like beer snakes was easy. Roughnecks offense. You can't come at me on that one. So that was pretty easy. And then you said the Panthers, which is probably one of the worst answers. But you did battle on the final one. That voting count, is that just Rollin and Maribel, or is that all your votes?
It is all of my votes.
Okay.
So I put together, because on Twitter, Webb posted the third poll on Twitter because I was at a bachelor party this weekend, and he split them up by all 4. I decided on YouTube to just do person, so it was easier to calculate. But yes, I calculated both of your answers on the Twitter poll and both of my answers on the Twitter poll. So there you go. You guys hate me, and that's okay. And he's still the champ. Eventually,
2 belts. This is
where did you
Webb,
even
2
get
belts.
those?
This is all I got. Because next week I'm gonna have to come up with a new one because I'll be 3-0. But 2 belts: the tag team champ and the USA champ.
This dude's Target rewards are off the chart. He's going to buying toys to put on his. This is ridiculous. But whatever. I'm coming this week, and I'm coming hard. 0 things in my cup that are gonna throw me off. I'm ready.
Oh boy.
We put out 3 polls this week for the 3 topics, and you guys decided that topic 1 was going to be best UFL head coach among the 8 current head coaches. Topic 2 is going to be the best UFL uniform of the 8 current teams. And topic 3, which is a little confusing to you guys, is the team with the highest ceiling or the team with the lowest floor. And you guys chose the team with the highest ceiling. So that's like, the last year, if the Defenders played the worst that they were going to play, then they were going to have 6 wins. But if they played the best that they were going to play, they were going to have 9 wins in the regular season and then losing the championship, right? So that was their ceiling.
All right.
Let's
go.
I got to get my shot in.
We're good.
So the Defenders' floor last year was going to be like 6 wins. Their ceiling was losing the championship. So that's what it is. What is the best that a team could do? Which team, in our opinion, has the highest ceiling, like has the best record if they play as well as they can? So that's going to be the third topic. But the first topic, KB, ring the bell for us.
All right. The first topic is based on the current situation, right? Because it's spring football and things can change from day to day. But based on our current UFL head coaches, who is the best?
You can go first, Ace.
That's crap, but okay. So I'm going to take the answer that is the only answer. There's no other answer of who is the best UFL head coach. And the cool part is I've actually interviewed the man, and he was really, really cool. Skip Holtz of the Birmingham Stallions. Not only is he going into his third season as the Stallions head coach, he's going in and he's a 2-time USFL championship. This man has not had a season in spring football where he was head coaching and he didn't win the championship. The dude, so his overall record, 10 game seasons, 17-3. If we're going to put the playoffs in there, he's 21-3. He's never lost a playoff or a championship game. His player retention, absolutely ridiculous. Unless a player like went to the NFL or I don't know, got some other opportunity or retired, like they really just come back to the Stallions. Nobody who had the choice to go back to the Stallions didn't do it. He's crazy. He also pulls players from other teams. I think they've poached the most players from other teams because people just want to play for the legendary Skip Holtz, who is the son of a legendary Dr. Lou, a legendary college head coach who we saw at the championship game, and that was kind of a surreal moment. But dude, this guy, he's legit. He came from college football where he went to La Tech. He had a 4-8 his first year, moved the second season, already bumped that record up to 9-5, took them to their first bowl win in a long time, and then took them to another bowl win the next season, 9-4. Then COVID came. Conference USA did not retain a lot. They didn't do that well. His record fell the next season, and he moved into spring football and picked it right back up and dominated. The dude's just a winner, also a player's coach, and that's something that I absolutely love in a league like this. And I'm going to save the rest of my points to Rebuke. Webb, what you got?
Well, I got Big Game Bob. Skip is great. I think there are a lot of good choices, actually. I thought this was the tougher of the two conversations, the football conversation. But I had to go with Big Game Bob. I know you are a Baylor guy, so you can't stand Big Game Bob because he dominated the Big 12. So
I like him better than Lincoln Riley. So there's that.
Yeah, I guess because you're younger, but he had 10 Big 12 championships, 1 national championship, 2 Heismans. But the biggest thing that I believe that a best coach, you learn from a great protege. I mean, you are a protege of a great legendary coach. Then you have a good career, and then your coaching tree expands, and there's a lot of success. Bob Stoops is the definition of that. He played underneath Hayden Fox at Iowa, legendary coach. The field's named after him. Bill Snyder, he helped transform that defense at Kansas State. They were the worst program in Power 5 in the late 80s, early 90s. I know we're talking 30 years ago, but
Stoops is old, so.
Yeah, but he's been around. Then he goes to Florida and wins the national championship underneath Spurrier. So he's he's coached underneath legendary coach. Then he goes to OU, changes it. They weren't in a bowl game for 5 years. He gets into the bowl game. Second year, they go undefeated and win the national championship. Mm-hmm. This guy is absolutely a legend. And then his coaching tree. Do you want to know some of the coaches that coach underneath him? Do you know any?
Throw them at me. No.
Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley. Brent Venables, who now coaches at Oklahoma, who won a couple national championships.
Far from Stoops at that university.
Jeff Levy, the Mississippi State Power 5 school head coach. Josh Hoople from Tennessee. Mike Leach.
That's a good one.
Legendary. And then you might have something in the back there that of Kevin Summerlin, the first Gamblers head coach. He was the offense coordinator underneath Bob Stoops. So he worked for legends. He created a legendary career. and now he has legends that worked underneath him. That's the definition of the best coach. And I love a lot of these coaches. Skip Holtz is a great answer. If I lose this one, I tip my cap to you. All the other conversations making me 5-2, I've won. But this one, like I would understand because you have the better answer sometimes. And this is one case that I'm respecting your answer, I guess.
Well, I absolutely have the better answer, and I'm going to tell you why. So we're talking about the top UFL coach. If we're talking college, yeah, Bob Stoops, he's possibly one of the top college coaches of all time behind Nick Saban, and if you respect him, Urban Meyer. But I'm talking top UFL coach. I'm talking top spring football coach. Let's look. I have my stats here, and I wanted to make sure I had stats on yours too. So Bob Stoops, this is not his first run at the XFL, right? He was in the XFL 2020, still with the Renegades, and then in 2023. So in 2020, his team was actually ranked number 1 in the power rankings of the 2020 XFL season before they started playing. Obviously, the Roughnecks ended up being the best team that season, and PJ Walker was the MVP, went on to the NFL. But he had the team with the most talent, the most recognizable names, and they went 2-3.
Okay.
Were they going to make the playoffs? Was Big Time Bob going to make the playoffs at 2-3?
He made the playoffs at 4-6. So if you double 2-3, if you double 2-3, that equals 4-6. They make the playoffs and won a championship. He's lost as many postseason games as Skip Holtz. They both have 0 losses as a postseason in the UFL, XFL or USFL.
But when we're looking at regular season losses, Bob Stoops 6-9 overall, nice in regular season, and 7-9 overall.
As a Vikings fan, I know you don't understand this as a Vikings fan, but all you got to do is get to the dance. It doesn't matter what car you drove in to get to the dance. You just got to get to the dance, and then when you get there,
all you got to do is get to the dance. All you got to do is get to the dance. So last season he got to the dance because he won the head-to-head record tiebreaker with the San Antonio Brahmas, and they didn't have a quarterback all season. Their best quarterback all season was Reed Sennett, who broke his foot after a drive and a half. And then their next best was Kurt Benkert, who's a Twitch streamer. No, they sucked. Then the Vipers, who literally played on a prison field. So, wow, all they had to do was be better than those teams to make it to the dance. Well, this season, the playoffs, the best team in each division is getting into the playoffs, and then it's the next best 2 teams. So if he has another season, but if he has another season like the 2 that he's had, where he went 2-3 in the XFL before it folded because of COVID, and then he went 4-6 in the XFL last year, he would not have been in the playoffs either of those seasons if the current playoffs were there. So if we're talking UFL head coach, Skip Holtz sweeps, absolutely sweeps. Also, let's take into account who's around him. Skip Holtz, his GM is the age of my wife, which is very young, 23 years old, to be a general manager. Now, it's not too young to be my wife, but probably too young to be a general manager. Let's clarify that real quick. But he's so young. First of all, it's his first GMing job, first time being a general manager. Skip Holtz is in the driver's seat. Skip Holtz is the one bringing the players in. He's the one making all the decisions. He's the guy, dude. He's the guy.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
The whole team, dude.
You're killing me. Zach Potter, I drive that car, that Zach Potter bus, driving over Zach Potter, and I have for 2 years. But you have to respect Zach Potter. Zach Potter has gotten these guys.
I respect what Zach Potter has been able to do, but most of it has been because Skip Holtz is there helping him do it. I was going to say holding his hand, but he's 23. He's not holding hands anymore. No, he's there with him, making sure that he's like, I think I agree with you. I think this is a good decision. Like, dude, Skip Holtz, we've talked to him. We've been in those press conferences. I've interviewed him. I was at the championship year 1. You were there with me year 2. We've seen the way his players feel about him. Skip Holtz is the best UFL head coach. Bob Stoops is one of the best coaches of all time, but not in this league. This is not his domain. Yes, he won a championship, but if he didn't get Luis Perez, man, he wasn't going. I'm telling you that right now.
So he made the move, right? He made the move, took a quarterback in the middle of the season that wasn't there for training camp. Not like Jamar, which, had like a decade.
That's better on the quarterback.
You made a move and you found a way to win, and you were able to coach a brand new quarterback into the system and you won the championship, which you beat the Roughnecks defense, right? Which was amazing, right? The real Roughnecks, not the Roughneck Gamblers. And then the Defenders, who were 9-1 and were basically coasting through everything, right?
Except the Guardians. And who? Quentin Germany. No,
that's fine. That's fine. I want to go back to an earlier comment. You said Zach Potter's too young to be a GM. Well, Mrs. Ace, if you're watching this, Mrs. Ace, KB's daughter, you're not too young to be a general manager because you manage Ace all the time. So I know you can manage it.
She manages all kinds of shit.
Damn, that was good. That was fire. That was a good comment. Not enough to win this debate. That was a good comment.
That one. Rebut that one.
Hear about this. So Bob Stoops, you're like, oh, he came in both seasons. Yeah, he had a hard start, but then he's able to make the changes. Okay, cool. Skip Holtz everybody was saying that we were saying it on USFLA. We were saying that Skip Holtz last season was having a rough start to his season. He was still 4-1. The dude was 4-1 having a rough start. And then because he lost to my Gamblers, who are for some reason have their number. That's crazy. So even when he's having a bad season, he still has one loss, like 2 losses. There you go. He had 2 losses. That's crazy. Let's talk about floor and ceiling. In the UFL, Skip Holt's ceiling is well, I guess they both won a championship. But his floor is so much higher than Bob Stoops.
Yeah, the floor.
Bob Stoops is down here. They both have the same ceiling, but one's much more likely to hit that ceiling because they don't have to rise up as far from the floor. How about that?
I think we got to move on.
I think we got to move on.
I think we got to move on.
We went too long on the first topic. Went too long.
No, I'm watching.
No, she's tired.
I'm watching the clock.
She's watching the timer, and she's like, 17 minutes and 25 seconds is the exact amount of time Ace needs to win this debate. Yeah. So there you go.
Right.
No. All right,
it's all right.
Gentlemen, next item of discussion is let's talk about the best uniforms in the UFL.
Webb, you go first. It's your team.
It's easy. It's DC Defenders, man. They're so simple, so simple, so clean. They connect right back to the flag of Washington DC. It just a simple design. It's not overcomplicated. Like I'm looking at your Roughnecks logo. There's a lot going on there. They just have the D, the C, and the star. It's real simple. It's 2 colors. Can you name their third color? You probably can because you're a graphics guy. But can you name the Defender's third color? Yeah.
Gray.
It's gray, but it's so slight. It's they have their own brand and it's perfect. I like simplicity when it comes to uniform instead of the 2 tones and all that crazy designs. I just like the simple, like those lines, the stars, the number. It's perfect, man. The helmet goes along with the whole uniform. I know you're the design guy, so you're gonna rip it apart somehow, but this is such a clean look that it's legendary now. It's legendary. Actually, to tell you the truth, this feels more like DC than the Commanders do in the NFL. This feels more home.
Commanders don't feel DC at all.
Exactly. This feels more home for DC. So I love it. I love this.
Oh, no. If the Commanders adopted these uniforms, I'd be all for it.
Yeah.
But that's
don't call them the Commanders, but yeah.
That's just most because I despise the Commanders uniforms. I think they're garbage. Talk about designing when they just put that W on the front and made them black and they were like, this is crazy. No, those are garbage. Those are awful. Terrible. Worst color I've seen. So I'm not going to sit here and say I hate the DC uniforms. I do like them. Now, what I do not like about them is Kenny, can you pull back up the home away, please? So I made these nice home and away ones because I wanted to be able to look at both of them side by side for the home and away. He's not pulling it up, but I know. There you go. So on the right there, you have Jordan Ta'amu, and you said you hate the 2 tones, but they kind of made it a 2-tone by putting the camouflage on the shoulders. Now, It's not too bad. From afar, when you're watching highlights, can you tell? No. But up close, if we're getting into the nitty gritty, because that's what we're doing here in this debate, they did make a 2-tone. And I hate that. They should have just done the camouflage either all over it or only maybe some like strips. I don't know. I don't like the just shoulder pads of it all. Now their home uniform, very clean. I like the flag on the shoulder pads. You know, they have it on both the home and away, the flag right there. I enjoy that. I like the helmet with the, I'm not a camo guy. I'm in the military. I'm not a camo guy. I never wear it outside of my uniform, but I like the subtle camo on the helmet. I enjoy it. The white face mask, it's a good uniform, but like you said, simple. It's too simple for me. I think it's too simple. Now let's talk about my choice, which is the St. Louis Battlehawk. Now, as you said, I do graphics for the United Football Media, UFM. Before Kenny showed up, I was doing almost all the graphics. Webb, you would do some of your own. I love doing graphics with these uniforms. Now, they have the simplicity that you're talking about. Very simple. Their colors jump off of the page. But the thing that I absolutely love is that they had the coolest helmet in the XFL 2020 with the wings. It was a little too reminiscent of the Philadelphia Eagles, in my opinion. I thought maybe they were going to get a copyright infringement for that. So they went and they made it even cleaner and even more of a modern look. They took the silver with a lighter silver strip. Wow, it's a beautiful helmet. Like, I like the camouflage on the DC Defenders helmet, but it's almost too much the way that the Roughnecks, I think it's way too much trying to do the flag. Awful. I don't like it. This is just beautiful. The wing, it's sharp. It sticks out. It doesn't like get distracting or look like too much. I think they did a little too much on the 2021. And then the silver with the lighter silver, dude, mwah. This is my favorite. I don't like
about this one. The reason why I don't like this one is because it looks like a Madden creative team helmet. And in my opinion,
you're really good at Madden. Only if you're really good at Madden.
No, it looks like one of the generic ones, like the talons and all that kind of stuff. Like with the team names that are already. It just, I don't know. It just seems.
I love it. I think
it doesn't seem like
also something that I love. I love, and I also love this about the Brahmas, is that their away uniform isn't just white. But it's also not like, so for the Brahmas, I think their fatal flaw is that their away uniform, the top is yellow, which is sick, but then the pants are black. And I don't really like pants and jerseys, different colors, unless the jersey is going to be white, because that just makes, it's an away team feel. It makes sense. But if you're going to put a color, the pants need to be the same color. So the fact that the Battlehawks went and they did the gray aways, the silver, and they made the pants also silver, that's so cool to me. I think that it's good. It makes it look different. If you turn the TV and you see, let's say, the Defenders playing the Battlehawks and it's in DC, you turn the channel and you're like, oh, it's football. And you're like, wait, which team's home? That team's wearing gray. It just kind of gets your wheels turning a little bit, and it's cooler. It's not done as much, and it looks sleek. It's simple, like you said, but I like the way that the numbers look a little like the Battlehawk wing. They kind of make it look metal because they made the secondary logo like this metal hawk. So they made the wings look more metal, and they made the uniform numbers look kind of like sheet metal. And I think the attention to detail there was great. I think DC had great attention to detail. I think they took it a little too far. I think the camo on the shoulder pads, they tried to do a little too much. They just put their logo on the side of the helmet. The Battlehawks, the only place that wing is on the helmet. I think, and when I do a graphic with it, it's my favorite. My countdown graphic number 97. Countdown graphic number 97 is Battlehawks, and it's one of my favorite graphics I've ever done, specifically because I was working with those colors, and it is crazy.
I don't know, man. I feel like the helmet kind of ruins it. You love the helmet, but
you're crazy.
I think the helmet kind of ruins it.
That's the best part. How dare you?
I don't think it's one of the better helmets in the league. So like the helmet kind of it makes me feel like
your helmet gets too muddled. That camouflage isn't blending in with
you. Can make it.
Why is there a picture of that guy's crotch?
Because behind it is another photo that I put on there of the Defenders uniforms.
Oh, okay.
But the helmet, I just feel like the Battlehawks helmet is just something that you'd see on Madden Create a Team where it's already built in the system. and you can name it the Tampa Bay Talons. Like it just like it's generic to me. Or like if you played some game and there's expansion, like I play 2K, and on 2K there's expansion that comes up, and it just like feels
expansion-y.
Yeah,
I know I know exactly the feeling you're talking about. I don't get that with them. I get that with the Sea Dragons, weirdly enough. Mostly because who picks all orange? But they're not here.
They're dead. They're dead.
Gone. So. Those Sea Dragons were speared by a Triton.
I think it's time to move on, gentlemen.
Oh, man, wait till we get to best logo whenever someone votes for that.
Oh, boy.
I know.
Someone just vote for best defense first. Like,
voting.
Someone vote for best defense. We already did offense.
You just want to argue.
No, I just wanted the defense. Defense, yeah.
Because that's going to be the episode of Polar Opposites. Battlehawks.
Sword with wings.
Oh,
sweet.
Boy. Sweet.
Sword with wings is dope. Are you kidding me? That's the coolest thing ever.
No, it's not.
You're talking about.
Oh, my gosh.
That's so sick.
All right, guys. Our
lightning bolts. Zeus? Get out of here.
Yeah, Kenny's funny.
Shields up.
Oh,
Shields
boy.
Up.
You both doing it. All right.
Lemonheads. All right, let's go.
Gentlemen. Let's talk about the team with the highest ceiling.
All right. So, as I described it earlier, the highest ceiling means that if they play a great season, then how far are they able to go? So let's say last season, the San Antonio Brahmas, they finished, what were they, 3-7? 4-6?
The Brahmas.
They were one
Brahmas
of those.
were 3.
They were one of those. But once Reed Sinnott went down, the Brahmas ceiling last season was about 6 wins. Like, if we're going to be honest, if they had played their best, they were going to get 6 wins. That was their ceiling. That was the best that they were going to do. So right now, I would say the best ceiling would be the Memphis Showboats. I'm saying it's the Memphis Showboats. And that's because if you were to put together a all-star team, literally have like a Pro Bowl of the USFL, other than the defensive line, it would be the Memphis Showboats. It's ridiculous. Let's run through some of their roster, Webb, shall we? Well, let's start right there. Derek Dillon, number 8. He had the wonderful and exciting kick 6 against the Pittsburgh Maulers. So he's electric. He single-handedly finished the game for the second game that they played against the Gamblers. He single-handedly finished it because he caught the ball and took it like 65 yards because he just outran the field. So they have, you scroll down in my notes here. Their head coach is John DiFilippo. Now, he brought in a lot of breakers from last season because he wanted players that already knew his system. He wanted players that he already knew, that he knew their character. So he had a leg up in that he took over the Memphis Showboats where they had already kept the best that they had. And then he brought the best that he had from the breakers. Then on top of that, his shoot first, run second offense is now led by Case Cookis, who apparently everybody online thinks is the best quarterback in spring football ever. Except you.
Well,
so I'm just Normandy. I don't know what you want.
Yeah,
but Cookis had almost 2,300 yards last year in 10 games. He had a 15-9 touchdown and interception, 229 yards per game. Fantastic numbers. That was also with the Stars where his offensive line was not that good. He's coming in now. He has an offensive line led by Jerron Jones, who is one of two-time all-USFL players. The dude is an absolute unit on the offensive line. Also, Tyrone Prescott, who is a third-year starter, started year 1 with the Gamblers, started season 2 with the Showboats, and then is starting season 3 with the Showboats again. The dude's a dog. This offensive line is much better. The only reason Cole Kelly looked as good as Cole Kelly did last year is because he was able to stand in the pocket for a long time before he ended up running, and his 6'7" self ran through people. But he had the time. On top of that, they have Sage Surratt, who was number 3 in yards last year. Let me look at my notes. He was number 3 in receiving yards last year with 552. That is amongst tight ends and wide receivers. So he was 3rd overall, which is ridiculous. And he had 50 receptions, which is tied for 2nd overall among wide receivers and tight ends. That's his number 1 option. That's crazy. But he also gets Jay Adams, who already knows the John DiFilippo system and is an absolute dog. He made the amazing one-handed catch, but not only that, he's very consistent very consistent outlet. Last year, I think that it was him. Well, Johnny Dixon was hurt for a while, but him and Lee Morris were really like the outlets. People started keying in on Sage Surratt. Those were the outlets. Oh, look, both of them are now on the Memphis Showboats. Then you have the bowling ball made of butcher knives. You have Darius Victor, who is the season 1 rush leader. This offense is literally bonkers from trenches to running back. Like, you look at every single side of it, it's a ridiculous offense. But last year, the Memphis Showboats had probably the number 2 defense in the league behind the Maulers. They had the number 1 rated player by PFF of all positions. The number 1 overall rated player by PFF last season in the USFL was Kyrie Woods. He is still on the Memphis Showboats. They had Troy Warner, who had 78 tackles, which led his team, younger brother of Fred Warner. So you know that he's got the good blood in him and that he's going to go the distance. Then they picked up Vontae Diggs, an absolute leader for the Breakers. He's ended the season last year for the Gamblers. Who else? Big boy John Atkins, who I know you love. Big John Atkins is there in the middle. He led the league last year in pass deflections with 7 from the defensive tackle position. He also had 2.5 sacks and 22 tackles. The defense is great. Greg Reeves, Jeff McCulloch. They're got some more dogs in Vontae Diggs. Man, I don't know. They didn't really need to bring a lot on defense. That's why their offense is so stacked. Their defense was already very good. So I think their ceiling is literally just blowing the doors off of everybody all the way into the championship and then maybe having a harder championship. Like, I literally think that they could steamroll this league. If they do it right, if their offensive line plays the way that I think that they can play, they could actually just steamroll everybody into the championship.
I know you're making this argument, but so last week you said
I'm making such a good argument.
You just talked offense, and you said, oh, they were good on defense, and
they were great on defense.
Kyrie Woods was highest rated PFF player. Yeah, because he only started 4 games. Let's be honest. He was hurt he played 6. No, he played 6, but he only started 4 games. I just looked it up while you were just going on and on and on about Showboats offense, which last week you told me the Panthers offense was the best. So I'm a little confused.
Yeah, and I would have won if I said Showboats, huh?
You probably had a better argument. But when I'm talking about highest ceiling, it's where I see them right now until the top. So the Stallions ceiling, yes, could be the championship, but I'm already putting them at like number 1. So their ceiling isn't that high.
So you're doing a differential?
So the way I see it, the highest ceiling, that means their ceiling's the highest because this is where they are, right? Is how high can they go? And it's the Houston Roughnecks.
Too confusing into the.
No, it's the Houston Roughnecks because they're kind of seen as a middle of the pack team that could be a championship contender team. And you tell me about this every single week and sometimes multiple times a week. I swear you put out a new episode like every 3 days.
Not this week, but usually, yes.
But they figured out the quarterback, right? Benji Kahar is gone. Reed Sinet comes in. He's probably the number 1. Gartano, I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but you know who I'm talking about, the guy from Tennessee.
I don't even know that.
But then you have the best running back in the league, quite possibly. You're going to say he is the best running back in the league. Then you have my boy, Henny Hall. I talked about this offense last week, right? And won the conversation as the best offense in the league. Offensive line is terrific. And then you have the kicker that had, 8 field goals in one game, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so one of the best kickers. Then you have Isaiah Zuber, who I don't know where he's going to play, but he's going to play ball.
He can play either side.
Yeah, we can play the other side. And then we're going to start talking about the defense. Finally get to talk about the defense. So Keontae Shad, when I go through your defensive tackles, I see Keontae Shad probably being your 3rd, maybe 4th DT.
Wild.
He had 7.5 sacks in 6 starts last year from the DT tackle. And he's your 4th guy? Because you got Toby Johnson, who's the 2-time all USFL. He's the other one that you were talking about with Jaron Jones. Then you got Manny Bunch in the back, but let's go D tackle. Olive was instrumental, maybe not stat-wise, but for that Mauler's defense, he took up a ton of space and it freed up a bunch of guys. Ask Boogie, ask Reuben Foster, who you now have in the Roughnecks. Then you got Chris Odoms, man, Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yes, he's coming back from an injury. Then you have Adam Rodriguez, the all-time USFL sack leader, who probably might be your third defensive end. So we talk about this in spring leagues all the time about how offensive line is so important, right? But defensive line is equally important because if they can pressure, bring in only 4 against an offensive line that's weak in spring football because they're not gelled completely, you tend to be successful. Go ask the Maulers, go ask the defenders last year. The Roughnecks went 7-3. The old Roughnecks, Wade Phillips, the Brahma necks, I guess we'll call them. So the defensive line controls a lot of this. And I just listed off a guy that had 7.5 sacks as your third, maybe fourth defensive tackle right now. Because you got Reggie Howard. Oh, yeah, he was all USFL in 2022. Right?
Yeah.
You maybe he's your fourth one, but he was all USFL just a year ago. So you have all this talent on that front line. They're going to control a lot of offensive lines that are learning how to gel. So their defense, and it'll give time for your offense to take off. Your ceiling's so high. I'm kind of jealous of the situation right now because of our fanhood right here. Yeah. But the ceiling is so high because you are seen as a middle of the pack team, but you really are a championship contender. So your ceiling is higher than most. So that's the reason why the Roughnecks. Yeah, I dropped my pen. I'm ready to go. Go.
So
you're not going to talk?
My rebuttal is that, yes, I absolutely love the Roughnecks, right? They're my team. I spent however much money that I'm not willing to admit on this sign right here. I love them. I would need to see the quarterback position pan out. 2 seasons in a row, I was like, the quarterback is going to 100% work, right? Clayton Thorson, he's the all-time passing leader at Northwestern. I was like, this is the guy. And then he came in and he sucked. Like, let's just say Clayton Thorson sucked. Then Benji Carr came in. I was like, dude, this guy, talk about a high ceiling. Kenji Bahar has a great ceiling, and he just really wouldn't get off the floor. Like, it was crazy. The dude, he just lived in mediocrity, and it was infuriating because he had a big arm, he was mobile, and he was very accurate when he wanted to be. And so it was annoying. I need to see the quarterback position pan out. I need to see Nolan Henderson, the third best quarterback out of Delaware, because you have the guy who's ahead of him, and then obviously Joe Flacco. And then I have Reed Sinnett, who is, like, if you ask, Reed Sinnett is a Philadelphia Eagles preseason star. He's a legend to them, which is crazy because he set the single game preseason passing yard record with the Miami Dolphins, not even with the Eagles.
Also an active quarterback this year in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a dog. No, he's a dog. But last year he came into spring football and he played a drive and a half and broke his foot. So, injuries are a bit of a question. Like, I don't know. I just want to see it pan out first before I'm willing to get my hopes up with the Houston Roughnecks and say that we are going to go win a championship. I need to see it at least in camp a little bit. I want to go watch Reed, Nolan, and Jarrett go toss it out. But right now, I am confident that the Memphis Showboats, all I talked about was Case Cookus in the quarterback room. They have hands down, the best quarterback room in the league. They have Case Cookus. They have Cole Kelly, who beat out the hometown hero last year and became the starter. And then they have Troy Williams, who is a well-known leader and took a 4-6 team to the championship last year and gave him a fighting chance once the offensive coordinator finally got his head out of his butt and let him play. They have the best situation in quarterback by far, because let's say this. Say what happens with Reed Sinnett last year happens again. Now, I really like the guy. I'm incredibly high on him, but say he comes in and he breaks his foot. Say something happens. Are we completely confident that Nolan Henderson or Jarrett Garantano are going to take us to the championship?
You went 5-5 with You went 5-5 with an average defense, and Mark Thompson you knew exactly what your offense was. Now you have Henny,
and I love Mark.
You're adding Henny. All they got to do is match Bahar, and they're a championship contender. That's all your quarterback has to do. Is match Bahar, because your defense is so.
I understand. No. I understand. I know that our ceiling is a championship easily. Houston Roughnecks ceiling championship. I say it every week on my show, but I think that while the Memphis Showboats might be equal, they both their ceilings are the championship. That the Memphis Showboats can get through more going wrong than the Houston Roughnecks, because let's say their quarterback goes down. Let's say Case Cookus shatters his leg again. God forbid, I would hate to see it, but let's say he shatters his leg again. Then they get to pick from 2 starters from the USFL last year to pick from. That's crazy. They can go with a guy who played in the championship or the guy that everybody in Memphis already loves because he played there last year. That's and is good. Like, that's crazy. They have 2 above average quarterbacks that are going to back up who everybody thinks is the best quarterback in the league. And this entire league, everybody's saying AJ McCarron has to come back to the St. Louis Battlehawks, even though he went and blasted the league on some crappy podcast, right? So he goes and he blows them up, but everybody still wants him because quarterback play is that important in this league. And the Memphis Showboats, dude, they can have 1, 2 quarterbacks go down and they still have good quarterback play. And I understand and I fully believe that the Houston Roughnecks have the best defense in the league. The only team that is going to compare defensively is your defenders, honestly. I think those are the best 2 defenses in this league. I think the Houston Roughnecks offense could become the best offense in the league. But I have to see it first, where right now I know that the Memphis Showboats are going to be very good on offense. I know that they are. Wait, now, I think that they're going to lose to the Roughnecks? Hell yeah, I'll never say that they won't.
So but last week you could have chose any offense in the entire world to argue best offense in the league, and you chose Panthers. But now you're a week later, because I guess you lost that argument. You come in with the Showboats.
Overcome.
All of a sudden, now we're supposed to believe you. I've been sticking with the Roughnecks the entire time. I think this offense is going to figure it out. It's Mark Thompson.
I don't want to be a homer. I don't want to go and just blow you away with all the knowledge I have on the Houston Roughnecks. I can name every player on that freaking team right now, but I don't want to be a homer. I want to bring something that gives me a challenge. Last week, the Panthers were a freaking challenge to debate and say that they were the best offense. And then Corey Coleman retired, and half of my argument went out the window. So that sucked. But I improvise, adapt, overcome, and I'm back here telling you the Memphis Showboats right now have the highest ceiling. Now, the Houston Roughnecks could be the best team in the league, and I absolutely hope that they are. I pray every day that they are. But right now, the Memphis Showboats are probably number 2 team in the league behind the Stallions. And the Stallions didn't add that much talent, but they're up there because they are 2-time champions, and they have proved to us that they can do it no matter what changes on the team. So that's that. But I think that the highest ceiling right now is the Memphis Showboats. I think they could go week 1 and absolutely blow the barn doors off of whoever they play. They could ruin them. If John DeFilippo, if he comes in with the cojones to say, Case, we're just going to let you throw it down there. Throw it up. Lee Morris, Derek Dillon, Ryan McDaniel, who made a circus catch to keep them in the game last year against the Gamblers. Jay Adams, throw it down there. Let's see what happens. And if it's incomplete, we'll hand it to Darius Victor. Their like fourth running back right now is Kareth White, and that dude started for them last year. So this offense is absolutely ridiculous. Sorry, I hit my mic. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Improvise, adapt, overcome. And that is what ACE is all about. And I did it.
So you're adapting and overcoming.
My own argument, yes.
In a week later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
I know what
We'll see. I guess it's time for the Blindside.
It is time for the Blindside. I'm actually very nervous about this because I have been sending Kenny pictures during this episode, and I'm not sure if he's seen them or not. But all right,
so checking his phone.
Kenny, you're in my ear. Are you ready?
Are you ready? All right.
Sure.
All right. So, Kenny, I want you to cue up the second picture I sent you.
Aww.
Dad.
What's going on here?
You're a girl dad, right?
I am a girl dad.
All right, Kenny, cue up the first picture I sent you. All right. Ace, you're a girl uncle, right?
I'm a girl uncle. Yeah. That's my little niece, Amelia.
All right, Kenny, cue up our short. So, guys, I've been... work has been crazy this week, so I have not been as plugged in as I usually am. However, I feel like the big thing in football this week is
Taylor Swift.
Why are people so mad about Taylor Swift? As a girl dad and as a girl uncle who is also married to a very strong woman, tell me, please, why are men so upset about Taylor Swift?
Webb, you go first. I don't even know what you actually think about this.
People complain that their ice cream is cold. It's as simple as that. They will find something to complain about all the time. I actually think... Is my mic off?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, well, you started playing.
The ice cream was cold and I loved it.
Yeah. The ice cream's cold. People complain just to complain. I think what would be amazing if Taylor Swift at the start of the game at the national anthem, she takes a kneel down. I don't care if she's the villain. Who cares? Like, why do we care about a pop star dating a football player? Like, it's not football. Like, I just focus on the game. I don't care if they flash to her. Hey, guess what? She's probably more fun to watch on TV than some guy in the stands. Like there's no difference to me. It's except that she's a celebrity and people will be talking about it. That's it. Who cares? I just don't care. That's my whole thing.
This is my biggest thing about the hate is that everybody hates her for, taking over the NFL and this football and all that. She has nothing to do with it other than the fact that she is Taylor Swift. She literally never went to an NFL game until she started dating Travis Kelce, and a while after she started dating Travis Kelce, because she just wanted to go and support him and sit in a freaking box with his mom. And the NFL made it what it is. The media made it what it is. She's actually made no statements about it. She doesn't care. Travis Kelce even went on his podcast. What is it? New Heights, right? Is what it's called.
Yeah.
And was like, dude, they're making too much of a thing of it. Because this dude's just trying to date Taylor Swift. To him, she's just Taylor, right? The mystique of the music and the Eras tour has fallen, and behind the veil, she's just Taylor to him. And he just wants his girlfriend to be at the game. And I don't fault him for that at all. And everybody's mad about it, but she's really just out here trying to go and watch a football game, which all of us, there's thousands and thousands of people in the stands doing the exact same thing. The cameras are just pointed at her. And exactly what you said, it's kind of entertaining. If they point at her when Travis Kelce makes a play, the same way that when Josh Dobbs made a play, they went and they pointed the camera at his parents, right? Because his dad also has alopecia and is bald. So every time Josh Dobbs made a play, they pointed at his parents. Nobody cared. Every time somebody does something, they're like, there's his dad, JJ McCarthy in the national championship. They're like, here are his parents and his girlfriend.
Tom Brady with Giselle.
Tom Brady with Giselle.
Tony Romo with Carrie Underwood when you're back in the day. Yeah.
Yes. Tony Romo with Carrie Underwood or Jessica Simpson. Did he date Carrie Underwood?
Both of them, yeah.
That dude, good for him. Good for you, Tony. But it's no different. It's just the fact that the NFL didn't make money specifically off of those people. The NFL is making money off of Taylor Swift, and that's fine. And I really don't think, yeah, dude, Simone Biles. And how about this? She put her husband on the map. Can you name her husband? I can't to this day. And my wife listens to podcasts about them all the time. I don't even know who he is. Dude sucks as a football player. I don't care. He's not that good. Simone Biles is one of the greatest athletes of all time.
He's in the NFL. He's in the NFL.
Well, he should be in the UFL. But Simone Biles is one of the greatest athletes in Olympic history, which is crazy. So she put him on the map. But it's just the fact that Taylor Swift is such a huge, huge person, but she's not trying to do that. And the NFL is the one exploiting it. But honestly, if you go put a side by side, let's say Donna Kelce at the Super Bowl. Whenever a Kelce would do something, they showed Donna. I bet they showed her more than they show Taylor Swift during games. But the only reason we care is because it's Taylor Swift. I just think it's ridiculous. And honestly, it gets my wife to sit and watch games with me. And for that
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So my daughter has had no interest really in football. She'll watch basketball with me, but she's had no interest. But if the Kansas City Chiefs are playing, she's coming to watch. Like, oh, that's Taylor's boyfriend is playing.
Yeah. And my wife's excited for the Super Bowl.
Fan. Yeah.
My wife is never the past 3 years.
What negative comes out of it? I don't understand. I get off my lawn. I'll complain that my ice cream's cold kind of guy that just frankly complains about everything. And I'm just tired of those people because they just complain just to complain. And it's time to move on.
And like, if you don't pay attention to what all the haters and incels on Twitter are saying, and you don't listen to Colin Cowherd bitch about it on his show that it is or is not a good show at all. If you just watch the game, it's really not egregious. And I didn't like the last game. I didn't even really notice that they showed her that much because I'm also doing other stuff because, I'm an adult with a house and I do stuff. But it's not egregious. It's just if you go online and work yourself up about it with all these random dudes who are like, well, I can't get a girlfriend, then you can be mad about it. But for the rest of the people who just watch football and then pay attention to spring football, which she has nothing to do with, then you're fine. It doesn't matter.
And how great was it when they were in Buffalo a couple weeks ago and Jason Kelce, right? You're seeing pictures of Taylor Swift.
That was amazing.
You got Jason Kelce with no shirt on, just like hanging out in the suite after he already jumped out of the window.
They showed him, and he's just chugging a beer behind her. Jason Kelce's my hero. Everybody wants.
I can't complain. It has my daughter interested in football, even if it's for 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes longer than she was before.
5 minutes.
So I'm all for it. Yeah.
Well, the average is that Taylor Swift in an NFL game is broadcast for a total of 25 seconds in the 3.5 hour broadcast.
25 seconds. And
so, like, why are men so upset?
And it's not even like she's doing interviews. Like, they'll interview people's parents for like a solid 4 minutes, and you're like, I don't care. She doesn't even do interviews. She just sits there and watches the game and hangs out with people, and everybody's like, how dare she? Dude, who cares? 25 seconds. Live with it.
And she's not, like, I don't think she's annoying. I think there's another person in that box that is trying to make an appearance all the time that's extremely annoying. But
two people that I'm thinking of.
Well,
there's a sex offender in that box, and nobody cares about that.
That's the one I'm thinking about. Yeah. That's the guy that, we shouldn't put that guy on TV.
Literally does TikTok dances on memorials in Mile High. Yeah, there's a piece of crap up there that nobody cares that he's in the box.
Yeah. So I just feel like people that are complaining are just miserable people, really. Because why does it really matter that a singer is watching it? That's it.
That's all I have to say about that.
Or they're misogynists, but okay.
Chauvinists. Learned that word from Rick and Morty, weirdly enough.
I don't always think it's. I also don't think it's just misogynist. I just think some people are just haters. No, but they're haters because they're getting publicity. Kelsey's getting publicity. And let's be honest, the Chiefs have turned into the Patriots, really, right? They've turned into where they're dominating. So you're going to have people that just hate them just because they hate them.
Because they're them.
Yeah. So
if it was another team, if it was a crappy team that Taylor Swift was going to the games, nobody would care.
Yeah, if she was dating Kyler Murray, no one would care.
Imagine that.
Right, dating Kyler Murray. Give me those pictures one more time just because I love them.
Pictures of Livy and
let's give me one picture of Livy. Because I love her. Come on, Kenny.
If you guys would like some Girl Scout cookies, we're cheaper than TJ Barnes. I learned that. TJ Barnes is selling his daughter's Girl Scout cookies at $6 a box. Mine's $5 a box.
She is.
Hit a comment and I will send you a link.
After I visited. And there
what the hell? Oh, shit. I can't do it. Kenny. Tip is here. We're okay.
Give it to Kenny.
All right.
Kenny's tonight's champ.
All right.
And I think we get the piece on that.
Peace out, guys. I cannot.